So up till now, we have seen factory method, the first one, in which we delegate the creation of the new object to the factory class, thus encapsulating the creation of the object itself from the constructor, and provides us a rigid framework instead of directly depending on the construction of class. Next was the abstract factory method, which provided us another layer of abstraction over factory, which we can use in the scenario of cross-platform. Means if we have the multiple factories, then we create another abstract factory class, which our factory method would be extending, which our factory class would be extending.
Yes.
Next was the builder pattern. Here we had a very strict definition itself, where we wanted to separate the construction of a complex object from its actual representation, so that the same construction process, which is the step-by-step process, can create different representations. And recently we covered object pool. Object pool is the one where instead of creating a new object every time, we maintain a pool of objects from which we allocate or deallocate the object to client upon the demand.
Yeah.
With this, now let's jump to the next design pattern, which would be our prototype one. It's a very simple type of creational design pattern, where our intent is to create the new object from an existing object or prototype. Here, thus, we can avoid the creation of the new object from scratch. And it may seem obvious from this definition itself that it will help us in the scenario where the creation of new object is a complex process. Thus, prototype design pattern would be beneficial to us because it will simplify the scenario to us. But the next problem in this situation is how to achieve this scenario. How to get our copy object from the prototype object. The one obvious solution which comes to mind to create an exact copy is first to create a new object from class and one by one copy the fields from an original object. This can be one possible solution, but here it has one catch. The catch is like some fields are private and some fields are not accessible from outside the class and some fields are invisible. Those kinds of fields we can't copy it directly. Sometimes itself, like the object itself, what we have, the reference is not of a direct subclass itself, but instead of a superclass or interface, we have the reference of that object. We don't have the actual object, thus we can't know what are the actual properties that object have, and we can't copy it explicitly. So what is the solution? Solution for this is in this class diagram.
Can you 1 minute?
Yeah, this is the actual definition of the prototype. This means, as I said itself, the intent is not to create a new object from scratch, but copy the already existing object from the prototype, thus reducing the costly operations, whatever we had from scratch. And obviously, the scenario is also clear where we want to use creation of object is when the creation of object is costly. In that scenario, we want to achieve that in this prototype.
Yeah, so when we'll copy the object, the new object will have all the properties and the value assigned to those properties, right?
Yes, correct. So the solution to achieve this scenario is in our class diagram. What is in the class diagram here? Here again, we have a client and library kind of structure. Client will be calling our library to get the object itself. And this library is a combination of like this. Our this concrete prototype one is our actual class, and prototype is our interface. This prototype is our interface, which contains a clone object, which contains clone method. And this clone method is actually implemented in the concrete prototype classes. Thus, whatever the copying, whatever the step of copying it is, instead of copying from outside the library, we have delegated the step of copying to the object itself, which will be done inside this clone method.
Which one? The one inside the concrete prototype 2 or concrete prototype 1, right?
Yes, correct.
So in our interface can have multiple prototype clone methods, right?
Our interface will have
Whatever.
only one clone method, and its implementation will vary
Okay, yeah.
upon the class itself, upon the
Upon the
concrete class
yeah.
itself, how it want to implement it. Like the clone object may want to avoid certain types of fields to be copied itself. Instead, they want it to be set explicitly from the client side itself. So means actual copying of the object, those type of stuff can vary from the in the actual itself. Instead, our objective is to provide an interface which our class can implement. Thus,
Yeah,
as said,
got it.
the solution, instead of like copying explicitly field by field, our solution is to assign this copying step to the original object itself. And the original object here would be an instance of like create prototype 1 and create prototype 2.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, inside inside the clone method, we are trying to return a copy of self. Since the actual we are returning it from within the object, we will have access to all the properties and all the fields within the whatever the class or object is exposing, is having, whether it is internal or whether it is external.
Yeah.
To understand it, let's quickly jump into the code to see how we will try to implement it. Let's create our new project this time, and it would be a prototype design pattern. I'll add a new project itself here. So I've created a new console application called prototype design pattern. Here it is a very simple line, console.writeLine, hello world. Here we are trying to print it. Let's continue with our previous example of vehicles. This time, say we have we already have a prototype car, let's say Tata car, and passing that Tata car through some kind of portal or like wormhole, we can get multiple instances of that Tata car. Let's suppose that is a scenario, though it is not a real scenario in the actual world, but let's say we have that kind of portal, and passing that object through that portal will give us a new Tata car. And we can add some properties and all to modify it according to our needs. Client can modify it according to their need. So first of all, to implement it, let's create a class for the Tata car. Class Tata car. We will have a class Tata car, and let's add some private fields. Sorry. Private read only, and let's add some brand. Let's add it a brand here. Let's create some new public fields. Public string, say model. I'll create a constructor for getter setter for this one. Public string, say number of doors. Get set. So for this Tata car here, we are providing some other fields like model, doors, color, and we are creating a getter setter for this one. And some fields are public, like model, doors, and colors, and some fields are private, like brand, let's say. So our objective is like we need to clone this car. So let's see what we had the solution in our class diagram. In our class diagram, according to our class diagram, we will have a prototype interface, and that prototype interface will have a client called clone. We'll have a method called clone. So let's create a prototype interface. Interface prototype type, and it will have a void method called clone. Not a void method. Let's say it will have a actual method. For this scenario, let's make it for Tata car clone. Sorry. Okay, and our class will be extending this iPrototype, and it will implement the interface under which it will return this dot clone. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Only one scenario is there with C#. This is already implemented in this scenario, so we don't need to this. It is already coming under iClonable interface. iClonable interface is already there in the C#, and we just need to return the object, public object. We can return this dot clone. So very simple scenario. Public object. Yeah. Here this dot clone, and this will return a new instance of our Tata car. So let's see how it works with our actual car. Like, let's create a var prototype car. We have a prototype, and from this create a new Tata car. And in the new Tata car, we will provide some field like model is equal to say Indica. Let's say next would be like doors. Sorry, my bad. It's comma. Doors. Say to color is equal to say red. So you can see some of the fields like brand is already there, which will be returned to us as a part of the direct clone object, and some fields which we can modify it. And that is the advantage. That is advantage we are getting with the prototype pattern. Like some process, like
Yes,
which is the configuration kind of step. With those steps which will happen in every object, we can avoid that kind of scenarios by cloning the object directly itself, and we can have the actual object. And yeah, we can get the new car. Equal to this is our prototype car, and we can get the new car from prototype car. Prototype, sorry, type car dot clone, just a clone method, and we will have our new object. We'll have a new separate object that would be the same kind of the replica as the same prototype car, and we can configure the new car model and brands and those kind of things. We can configure this new car. So yeah, this clone field is our wormhole portal from which we can pass our Tata car and we can get a new Tata car.
Okay, yeah, like it's kind of preparing a new model or new color of the car, right?
Yes, correct. We will get the same car and we can configure it in the next step to get a new car dot model, and we can configure it the same new car dot. Okay, we are getting the new car as an object, so we need to explicitly typecast it. And yeah, after typecasting, we can get it. So that is the advantage of our prototype design pattern. So in which scenario to use, where the creation of the object is costly and some configuration steps are repeatable. We can use this design pattern in those kind of scenarios. It was a very simple scenario, and with this, let's try to move to our next pattern, which would be our singleton.